I've talked about this story before on the Fowler Show, and there's a new campaign going in New York City called Raise the Age New York, which would basically raise the age and when individuals can be tried as adults. Right now in New York, people that are 16 can be tried as an adult. And I think that campaign is even more real and more potent when you hear real stories connected to why we need to raise the age. So I want to tell you a story about Kalief Browder, who may be physically free, but is mentally still trapped behind bars at Rikers Island. And let me tell you this story. This story is heartbreaking. In May of 2010, Kalief was a 16-year-old 10th grader walking home from Arthur Avenue in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, after a party. Then randomly, some guy came up to him and said, "Hey, you robbed me." And then he was put in cuffs and put behind bars. There was a $10,000 bail issue. Mind you, this guy had no previous charges. Random kid walking home on the street, African American boy, 16 years old, had his whole life ahead of him, and still has his whole life ahead of him. But just stay with me and I'll bless you on this story. Obviously, his family could not make the $10,000 bail, so he was put behind bars and given a legal aid attorney. And basically, every day, and you see, this is crazy. This young man, when he tells the story, he tells you, like, when I got there, I wanted to commit suicide. Every day was a battle to survive at Rikers Island. And for a crime I didn't do. I didn't even know the guy who I, quote unquote, robbed, is what he says in this story. He missed his sister's wedding. He missed the birth of his nephew. He missed family events. He was offered a plea deal after 33 months of being behind bars, because that's how long it took for his case to happen. Because he couldn't afford an attorney, the legal aid didn't do enough, so he was in jail for 3 years awaiting trial for a crime he didn't commit at 16 years old in an adult facility. For a crime he didn't commit, a crime he knew nothing about. And then all of a sudden, 3 years later, the district attorney says, "Oh, well, we're dropping the charges. We're dismissing the case. Don't worry about anything." And they let him go. But he lost 3 years of his life just because he happened to be walking home while black. America, this is a real issue. For all those folks out there watching or listening to this show who don't think that this happens to real people, this happens to real people. Real people. It could have been me walking home from a party in the Bronx and being put behind bars for 3 years just because of how I look and because somebody believed that somewhere in some sort of alternate universe, I robbed them. 3 years in jail, lost his life. And he tells you, I love this part is what sort of really got to my heart when he said this. I mean, every time I would go to court, I'm thinking I'm going home, and I would go to court and absolutely nothing would happen. I was feeling so much pain. I was all balling in my head, and I just had to grab my head and I couldn't take it anymore. He almost lost his mind for no reason, because our justice system is a justice system that is based on just us. Justice for those who have and not for those who have not. That is why we need to have a conversation. That is why programs and campaigns like Raising the Age New York and Trayvon's Law in Florida are so relevant to the conversation. We have got to end the school to prison pipeline. And beyond just end the school to prison pipeline, we've got to do everything to make sure that our children are just that, our children, and we nurture them and we correct them and we grow them in the way they should, instead of putting them behind bars for 3 years for absolutely goddamn no reason.